Frying pan and into the fire. That's the quickest way to describe what's happened to President Clinton in Congress over the last 24 hours. Yesterday at this time, the president had just given in to enormous pressure in the Senate and backed away from his energy tax as it is currently written. Today, the members of his own party in the House of Representatives are screaming that he has betrayed them. So we start with ABC's Jackie Judd.
President Clinton's eagerness to compromise with Senate Democrats has triggered a near mutiny among black and liberal House Democrats who voted for a budget they didn't like out of loyalty to their president. In the words of one Congresswoman, Mr. Clinton's retreat on the BTU tax has sent his credibility with House members into a meltdown.
There we are, doing a tap dance out on the end of the plank as it's being sawed off from underneath us.
In remarks to ABC station executives meeting in Los Angeles, the president said that kind of criticism is unfair.
No member of the House was leading the charge for the BTU tax as it existed. Most of them wanted it changed.
But even more infuriating to black members who already feel burned by the president's desertion of Lani Guinier is Mr. Clinton's apparent willingness to make deeper cuts in entitlement programs such as Medicare.
We are not combative, but we are not going to roll over out of blind allegiance and accept things that hurt the people that we represent.
The president essentially turned over budget writing responsibility to Senate Finance Committee Democrats. One of them, John Breaux of Louisiana, today floated one idea. He proposed a tax on transportation fuels, but no consensus has yet been reached on the tax or spending issues. Mr. Clinton tried to placate the House by promising consultations as this revised budget comes together.
And I received a clear commitment from Senator Mitchell and from Chairman Moynihan that they would meet with those House members before final decisions were made about what will be in that.
But that kind of promise no longer means much to skeptical House members. One House leader said Mr. Clinton's word has become suspect, and another added that the goodwill he enjoyed in the House is drying up fast. Jackie Judd, ABC News, Capitol Hill.
Here on the West Coast today, the major news was about local politics.
I'm Dick Reardon. I'm the mayor-elect of Los Angeles. Good morning, America.
The first new mayor in America's second largest city in 20 years had no difficulty introducing himself to the rest of the nation, and he tried to include all Angelenos in his victory speech.
My administration will be made up of Democrats, Republicans, and independents, people of every race, creed, color, and sexual orientation.
But this millionaire businessman did not impress many people that he had the answers to Los Angeles's most complicated problems. Only 43% of the eligible voters turned out. And the exit polls reveal that more than 50% of those who voted for Reardon thought he was simply the lesser of two evils. His opponent, Michael Wu, was unable to convince people he had been an effective city councilman. Reardon, who has ironclad connections to City Hall but who campaigned as a political outsider, did convince 49% of those who voted for him that he can make it safer on the streets and bring back business, which will create jobs.
Together, we will make our city safe. Together, we will restore the economy.
Here in this sprawling city, which has a legion of problems, only crime and jobs mattered to those who made Reardon the winner. When our broadcast continues from Los Angeles, we'll hear David Koresh's call for help when his compound was first raided. We'll have a report tonight on strange lawsuits filed by prisoners at your expense and the enormous public interest in a mostly private royal wedding.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings, brought to you by the Anheuser-Busch Companies.
Childhood is a magical time. A time of wonder and surprises, laughter and dreams. At Anheuser-Busch, we believe every child should experience it all. That's why we support the Muscular Dystrophy Association. Because there's nothing better than helping kids just be kids. The Anheuser-Busch Companies. Glad to be your neighbor. Proud to be your friend.
I know what I like and don't like. I don't like irregularity. It slows me down. I don't like harsh chemical laxatives. I like natural. like new, smooth texture, regular flavored Metamucil. It's the only natural fiber with no sweeteners, no added flavors, as well as no grit. I don't like those. So it's easy to take, easy to get the extra fiber I need, and it works just the way I expect from Metamucil, to get the body up and running. I like that.
Metamucil, the natural choice for regularity.
The voice of David Koresh was heard today by members of a House committee investigating the assault on the Branch Davidian compound in Waco. They heard a tape recording of Koresh in a call he made to the 911 emergency number on the day that federal agents first raided the compound back in February. Here's ABC's Walter Rogers.
As federal agents from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms stormed the Branch Davidian compound, cult leader David Koresh called a 911 police emergency number to report he was under siege.
You see, you brought a bunch of guys out here and you killed some of my children. We told you we wanted to talk. Now, there's a bunch of us dead and a bunch of you guys dead. Now that's your fault.
A McLennan County Sheriff's officer attempted to negotiate a ceasefire with Wayne Martin, another cult member who jumped on the phone.
Wayne, what we need you to do, what weapons do you have in there? You need to lay your weapons down and let's get some help for your people. We're under fire!
A few moments later, Wayne Martin said he was shot. Officials from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms dispute any claim David Koresh and his followers wanted to negotiate a ceasefire. They say the moment federal officials arrived on the scene and told Koresh they were there to serve a warrant, he stepped inside the door and the federal agents came under heavy fire. Walter Rogers, ABC News, Washington.
At the International AIDS Conference in Berlin today, there were a number of presentations made about the so far unsuccessful search for a vaccine. One in particular generated unusual interest because of the man who made it, Dr. Jonas Salk, who developed the vaccine against the last worldwide public health menace, polio. Here's ABC's George Strait.
It is because of Dr. Salk's success 40 years ago with a vaccine that prevented polio that there is so much interest now in the vaccine he's developed to treat people who already have AIDS. More than 1,000 scientists were told that 24 patients infected with HIV were given a vaccine designed to repair their immune systems. Researchers hope to boost the patient's natural immunity to a level where they can fight off and kill the AIDS virus and eventually be free of the disease. Initially, the results seemed promising. The number of their disease-fighting white blood cells went up, and the amount of HIV virus in their bodies went down. Some patients even gained weight and seemed healthier.
I think that this study shows conclusively that there is what we call a treatment effect.
The patients were given the treatment for 5 years, but its effects were relatively minor and only last a year after the patient stopped receiving the vaccine. Dr. Salk can't explain why, and until he can, most scientists here will remain very skeptical about the experiment.
I'd like to see more before making a conclusion on this.
On the basis of what we see, I don't think we can make any statement about what the ultimate clinical benefit of these are going to be.
Salk calls his critics followers and himself an explorer. Dr. Salk has afforded great deference and respect here, but when it comes to the data he presented, scientists say there's not enough of it to get excited about, even if it is from Jonas Salk. George Strait, ABC News, Berlin.
There is news tonight about smoking. There is strong new evidence of a link between secondhand smoke and childhood asthma. A study in the New England Journal of Medicine finds that children exposed to high levels of secondhand smoke have 70 to 80% more asthma attacks than other children. News about cigarette lighters. In Washington today, the federal government has zeroed in on such lighters. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says that in the hands of children, disposable butane lighters are fire hazards that have led to 150 deaths and 1,100 injuries. People who make the lighters have been told to make them child-resistant. Here's ABC's Bettina Gregory.
The fire in this house was started by a child playing with a lighter. Children under 5 set 5,000 such accidental fires every year. 23-month-old Tiffany Todd was one victim.
A child had woke up while we were all asleep and went upstairs with a Bic lighter and was playing in my daughter's room and started her bedroom on fire, and she died in her crib.
Some child-resistant lighters are already on the market. This one requires the user to push a button on the side before it will light. Today, the Consumer Product Safety Commission required all such lighters be child-resistant. By July 1994, all disposable butane lighters And most novelty lighters, including those that look like guns, toys, or attractive objects for children, must meet the standard. Lighters that sell for $10 or more are not included because children rarely play with them. To meet the standard, manufacturers must prove 85% of children under 5 cannot light them.
Child resistant does not mean child proof. Keep those lighters away from children.
The Commission has been studying this problem for 8 years. Its members say this new standard will save more lives than anything else the Consumer Product Safety Commission has ever done. Bettina Gregory, ABC News, Washington.
On Wall Street today, the Dow Jones Industrial Average gained a little more than a point to close at 3511. The trading was heavy. In a moment, some of the other news, preparing for a fight in Somalia.
You really think naphtha can be replaced with a non-flammable solvent?
In 1929, she was the only woman and the only PhD chemist in the physics lab. But over the years, she was responsible for 29 different patents.
Hello, I'm Sylvia Stacer.
Dr. Stacer created a new career path for women and for her company. The same company that leads the nation in patents granted to women over the last decade. We think Dr. Stacer would be pleased.
Dow lets you do great things. Worried about your interview tomorrow?
Not if I could get some Z's.
Nitol safely helps you fall asleep fast so you can get your Z's. Nitol or Maximum Strength Nitol.
Nitol will help you get your Z's.
This is delicious bacon.
It's turkey.
Nice and crisp. Louis Rich Turkey Bacon. It's half the fat by Louis Rich.
Now I want another bite.
I do like it.
Louis Rich Turkey Bacon.
The taste of bacon without all that fat.
Switch to Rich. Louis Rich.
I wouldn't eat regular bacon again.
Everybody needs some money sometime. Everybody
When you need money fast,
Hello, Sue.
come to Western Union. We send more money to more people in more places than anyone else. Western Union, the fastest way to send money.
You're looking at the birth of an entirely new form of antacid. New Mylanta gel caps. Easy to swallow with absolutely no chalky taste. The potency of Mylanta antacid now in a gel cap. My doctor said Mylanta.
The United States is going to send air power back to Somalia. ABC's Bob Zelnick reports from the Pentagon that after the recent fighting between a Somali warlord's forces and United Nations troops, in which 24 UN soldiers were killed, the U.S. has decided the warlord needs punishing and the UN needs backup, which means air power.
Pentagon sources say the first of the AC-130 gunships, which are armed with cannons and machine guns, is en route to Djibouti, next door to Somalia, and will be used in a retaliatory strike by UN forces against followers of the Somalian warlord General Aidid. It's expected that the first attack will come within the next few days. 3 other AC-130s are expected in the area by week's end. This is the second time the U.S. has had to punish General Aidid. In January, U.S. Cobra helicopters attacked a weapons storage area controlled by Aidid after his followers fired at a convoy of U.S. Marines. Pentagon sources say 2 of Aidid's large military compounds in the Mogadishu area are the most likely targets for the new attacks. That's where his best weapons are kept.
The action, I suspect, is designed in part to tell him that he can't get away with intimidating people by force, whether it be Somalis or the United Nations.
Even though Somalia is now technically a UN operation, the U.S. is deeply involved in planning the retaliatory strike. Many here see Somalia sliding back into anarchy and starvation unless the factions are brought under control. Bob Zelnick, ABC News at the Pentagon.
Overseas in Britain early today, there was a huge explosion and a fire which destroyed a gasoline storage tank in the northern English city of Gateshead. No one was hurt. There's been no claim of responsibility, but police do think that the Irish Republican Army actually set it. Our next report tonight is about a form of violence overseas, which, while it doesn't begin to compare with whatever the IRA practices, does have American authorities concerned. Next year, the World Cup in soccer is going to be held in the United States. Other than the Olympics, it's the most important sports event to the world as a whole, and U.S. authorities are very concerned about the potential of soccer violence. As ABC's Armin Katayan reports, with good reason.
When the World Cup comes to America next summer, more than 1 million supporters will come with it, including a faction of fans who use soccer matches as their venue for violence.
Our intelligence at the moment is that large numbers of these people who are involved in this public disorder and violence are planning to go to the World Cup in America.
They are called hooligans, small renegade bands of English, Dutch, and German soccer fans who, fueled by alcohol, set off on criminal rampages.
They go to an event with the intention of becoming a mob. They want a war. They want an army. They want to be tested.
For many hooligans, team spirit equals destruction. Mayhem means patriotism.
It's all about pride. It's all about us versus them. If things happen against England, then all England will rally round and they'll show people that you don't mess with England.
It's an aggressive, masculine, white, nationalistic, patriotic adventure.
A 30-year history of gang violence has scarred soccer events across Europe. Brussels, the Euro Cup, 40 dead, 600 injured after a crushing riot in the stands. Malmo, Sweden, gangs of hooligans from 3 countries clashed during the European Soccer Championships. And just last week in Oslo, Norway, British thugs battled riot police before a World Cup qualifying match. 73 hooligans were arrested.
They've got to understand very clearly that if they cross the line, we won't coddle them. They will be taken in custody and they'll spend some time in our jails.
State and federal authorities here are anticipating the hooligans' arrival. An estimated $100 million will be spent on security in the 9 cities hosting World Cup matches, with an emphasis on identifying and segregating hooligans in the stands. Security officials expect little trouble from hooligans inside stadiums like the Citrus Bowl here in Orlando. The critical test will be outside the venues, on city streets, in bars, during the days and hours between the matches.
We've got the mounted patrol unit, the motorcycle units, the emergency response team, and we're going to be very, very visible.
British police have been helping their U.S. counterparts. In recent years, Britain has cracked down on hooligan violence with a military-like presence at matches, video surveillance of hooligan hangouts, and dossiers on known troublemakers.
They live on being anonymous. They think they can go anywhere in the country, anywhere abroad, commit their activities and get away because nobody knows it.
The critical test for American police will be telling the difference between noisy, nationalistic World Cup fans and a violent subculture of sport. Armin Katayan, ABC News.
When we come back, we'll have a report about a flood of lawsuits from behind prison bars.
When you think about plastic, you may think about things like toy cars on your living room carpeting. Think again about a real car with dent-resistant plastic fenders. When you look at plastic bottles, you probably think they can't be recycled. Take another look. Millions are being recycled every day into things like plastic toy cars and your living room carpeting. To learn more, call this number for a free booklet and take another look at plastic.
Now Maalox comes in a brand new flavor. Water. Introducing new easy-to-swallow Maalox Caplets. The antacid that doesn't taste like one.
Hey, here in Norton, Ohio, I'm asking, what makes Ace the place?
We've got ideas that work.
Like Rainbird Lawn Sprinklers, your choice for only $3.97 each. And 5-star flat latex house paint now just $8.97 a gallon.
Hey, Ace is America's place for better ideas.
Help in a hurry. Call a day and night dealer to the rescue. Our quiet 2-speed plus air conditioner has a lower speed to help lower your energy bill. And only your day and night dealer has it. So call day and night to the rescue.
Come on, day and night and rescue me.
Any kids around, Aunt Jane?
Oh, sorry, Billy, not your age.
A little earlier, Jane Stewart was troubled with arthritis pain, so she took a Motrin IB. The same medicine as in the Motrin doctors have prescribed for years, but in non-prescription strength. And just one Motrin IB is as effective as 2 regular aspirin.
All right, kid. Let's see what you got.
Aunt Jane?
Come on.
Motrin IB, the relief of Motrin in non-prescription strength.
We're going to spend a few minutes tonight concentrating on the most popular words in America for some people, 2 of them. I'm suing. Americans file more lawsuits than anyone else in the world, about 18 million new suits every year. Tonight, some of the most bizarre examples we have ever heard about. Those doing the suing are prison inmates. They're tying up the courts, and you are footing the bill. Here's ABC's Tim O'Brien.
At the Nevada State Prison in Carson City, they're still talking about the former inmate who sued prison officials for inflicting cruel and unusual punishment. And what did they do to him?
I had ordered crunchy peanut butter, and they had gave me creamy, and I don't eat creamy, so I returned the crunchy.
Kenny Parker's suit, claiming severe emotional distress, was eventually thrown out.
When is the next state meeting?
Prison officials around the country say it is typical of thousands of suits they are forced to defend against each year.
I think, unfortunately, it's become recreational litigation is part of the problem. They're sitting there with a lot of time on their hands. The other problem, of course, is that it's free.
Not only is it free, under a 1977 Supreme Court decision, Nevada, like all states, must make a law library available to prison inmates and provide personnel to assist inmates who want to sue.
Bishop, the Fourth Amendment and your due process.
The Constitution does protect prison inmates from inhumane treatment, and the court was clear they must have some outlet for legitimate complaints. But state officials say they are now being flooded by lawsuits that are anything but legitimate, brought by inmates who will abuse the legal system at the slightest provocation. In 1991, 40% of all the civil suits filed in Nevada were brought by prison inmates.
I was named as the most dangerous man in the state of Nevada with pen and paper. And
how dangerous are you? How many suits have you filed?
Over 300.
Matthew Banks, serving time for attempted murder, sued because the cake served for dessert was in crumbs.
It was all chopped up. You couldn't even call it cake.
This is a symbol of the Satanic Church, pentagram, and the goat's head.
Matt Griffin sued after prison officials confiscated his satanic Bibles, which they said advocated violence.
And the judge orders the thing be served.
Inmate Randy Wiederman has filed hundreds of suits against prison officials, many of them on behalf of other inmates. He denies any one was frivolous, except perhaps the one demanding he be allowed to marry his cellmate.
I got a marriage certificate from California because Nevada's law wouldn't permit it.
Oh. So this is Ronald
Kudnick. Yeah.
Kudnick, and that's your spouse.
Yeah.
Wiederman's complaint was thrown out after it was learned he already had a wife, a real one, outside prison. The deputy Nevada Attorney General assigned to defend the state says cases like that clog court dockets, cost the state money, and in the long run, hurt the inmates.
I think one of the unfortunate effects of so much frivolous litigation is that it takes my time and attention away from the few suits that are legitimate and should have somebody's attention.
Ann Cathcart says it costs Nevada nearly $500,000 a year to defend against these suits, and that nationally the cost is staggering. But officials admit there's not much they can do about it. In Randy Wiederman's case, they recently transferred him to another prison with orders not to assist any other inmates in filing lawsuits. What did Wiederman do? He filed yet another lawsuit demanding $800,000 in damages. Tim O'Brien, ABC News, Carson City, Nevada.
We'll have more news in just a moment.
Now, Hart's long-term flea and tick protection is not just for white-collar dogs and cats.
Hart's Yummies?
The famous Hart's 2-in-1 flea and tick-killing collars now come in fabulous colors. So every dog and cat can feel comfortable with the powerful benefits of Hart's 2-in-1 protection. Protection that works for up to 5 months, wet or dry. Pets are jumping for joy wearing their 2-in-1 colored collars. Just ask any flea or tick. These are drop-dead colors.
When I get gas, I may look like this, but I feel like this, painfully bloated with gas.
Gas-X has the power to relieve gas faster than antacids.
So I feel like me again.
Painful gas needs the power of Gas-X.
At Econo Lodges all over America, pick up an entry form and you could win one of 7 $50,000 giveaways in the sweepstakes they call Choiceosaurus. Thousands of great dinosaur prizes are waiting. Call 1-800-4CHOICE today.
I didn't really think I'd have to tie the refrigerator down.
Well, he was wrong.
We were going along, and just about right here,
We had a bump.
the refrigerator went end over end out the back.
He single-handedly wrestled it back into the trailer.
It's run great for over 5 years, no problem.
One problem.
Yeah, I heard you.
More people repurchase Kenmore appliances and have them delivered than any other brand.
Now save $20 on this 7-amp Kenmore, just $79.99. Its lowest price ever during Kenmore days.
Cataract surgery can be miraculous, but Primetime found a clinic that may do it whether you need it or not, and they make millions from Medicare. Primetime Thursday.
Finally from us this evening, the royal wedding. Everything went just as planned today in Japan as Crown Prince Naruhito married his commoner bride, or at least we assume he did, for very few of the rites and ceremonies were carried out in public, which didn't in any way dampen the public's interest or the media's attentiveness. Here's ABC's Bill Rediker.
He wore a robe of orange silk representing the rising sun. She wore a 9-layer silk kimono weighing 31 pounds. And so it began, the wedding of Masako Owada, a commoner who gave up a promising diplomatic career to marry Crown Prince Naruhito, heir to the oldest monarchy in the world. 800 guests, none of them foreigners, were invited. Masako's family was there, but the emperor and empress were not. That's the custom. As the bride and groom disappeared into a sanctuary called the Shrine of Wisdom, the ceremony began. But none of the guests was allowed inside. Custom again. That didn't stop one television station from broadcasting a simulated ceremony using computer animation. First, the prince receives the branch of a sacred tree and bows 4 times. Later, after he pledges that he and his bride will cherish each other forever, the two sip sake. The ritual takes only 13 minutes. As they departed the shrine as husband and wife, each bowed. No kisses allowed. After changing into Western formal attire, Japan's newest imperial couple finally had an audience with the Emperor and Empress where they received a royal blessing. It was neither flashy nor exciting, but television broadcasters here more than made up for that by pulling out all of the stops. From dawn to dusk, they provided pictures from every conceivable angle and tributes from every conceivable celebrity, including Brooke Shields, who was once invited to the palace to meet the prince because he had such a crush on her. Today, she said her old friend had a gleam in his eye every time he looked at his bride. Japan's miserably rainy weather eased up just in time for the couple's first public appearance. As they drove past nearly 200,000 well-wishers, 60-year-old Sachiko Tsukeshiba struggled but managed to take a picture of the crown princess. I want Masako, she said, to use the fact that she is an international person to help Japan put on a new face for the rest of the world. If Masako's smile was any indication, Japan did not lose a junior diplomat today. It simply elevated her to the top. Bill Rediker, ABC News, Tokyo.
And that is our report on World News Tonight. Nightline later. We'll be back in New York tomorrow. I'm Peter Jennings. Good night from Los Angeles.